One of the things that we hear a lot from our residents that make the decision to become a part of our community is that they feel like, A, they've done this for themselves, that they're super happy that they're in this community and they wish they had done it earlier, but they also are happy that they have taken the pressure and the stress off their children of having to plan for what's next for mom and dad.
Hello, and welcome to Senior Life Publications podcast series. And today, our guests are Freedom Village of Bradenton, and I will introduce you to them in just a moment. But if you are unfamiliar, Senior Life Publications is the only mailed senior publication in the area. And if you'd like to receive a free copy mailed directly to your home, all you have to do is give us a call at 941-251-7057. And today, once again, our guests are, and I'd like to introduce first Bruce Call, who is the Director of Sales and Marketing of Freedom Village of Bradenton. And sitting next to Bruce is Scott McAllister, who is the Executive Director of Freedom Village. And then in the middle there is Steve Lovato, the Healthcare Administrator. I'd like to ask first, where you guys are located. So, Scott, where is Freedom Village of Bradenton located?
Sure. First, thanks for having us here today, Howard. We appreciate it. Freedom Village, we're a senior living community located on a 34-acre campus right in West Bradenton. Most people are aware of the Bradenton Medical Center, and we're right next door to Blake Hospital.
Okay.
Also just less than 3 miles from Anna Maria Island.
Okay. Beautiful spot.
Definitely.
What is Freedom Village of Bradenton?
We are a senior living community. We're called a CCRC, which stands for Continuing Care Retirement Community.
Okay.
And we offer our seniors all levels of care: independent living, assisted living, memory care, as well as skilled nursing and a top-notch physical therapy rehab center.
Okay. Most of the assisted living facilities located in the area are not CCRC, so that seems to set you apart from the rest of the community in this area. So obviously that sounds like you're something extremely special.
Definitely. When our residents move into Freedom Village, we make the commitment to take care of them for the rest of their lives. And that's the difference from a freestanding assisted living facility and a continuum care retirement community.
Bruce, what are the benefits of a CCRC, and why would someone choose you over an independent living or an assisted living facility?
So it's interesting that you use the word facility, Howard. In our community, which is what we are a community. We are a place where people decide to come and live and be a part of something. And we offer people an opportunity to continue to live their life as they're currently living independently. People don't come into our community and stop living how they are right now. They're still driving, they're still taking trips, they're still going on vacations. What they want right now is freedom from their responsibilities of their home. They don't want to have to fix anything anymore. They don't really want to cook a whole lot anymore. They don't want to have to clean. They want housekeeping to come in and take care of all of that. So people that come to our community want to be a part of something. They want to be in a neighborhood. There are options out there for people in senior housing that don't offer those type of things.
I see. And
we offer a lifestyle and camaraderie and a neighborhood feel that truly has an appeal. If you want to live in something that's, and when I use the word transient, I mean changing. People come and people go.
Okay.
That really isn't what we are. People come and make a decision that this is a forever move.
Okay.
And they want to be a part of something, and they want to be with people who want to be with them their entire part of their life. I bring them into independent living, and then they transition to assisted living or memory care or skilled nursing, which is Steve's area, and I'd let Steve can address that a little bit.
So what you're explaining is once someone decides to live in your community, that they can stay there for the rest of their life, transitioning to different periods in their life and whatever their medical needs are at that particular time.
That's correct. And then Steve and his team are responsible for some of those higher levels of care. You want to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I think Bruce said it well when we differentiate between community and facility, because there are lots of independent living facilities or assisted living facilities.
I see.
Or skilled nursing facilities, healthcare facilities, which is the part that I spend most of my time over seeing. So when you come to Freedom Village, you're coming to that community where you will have all those different levels of care, and you'll stay in community. So even in the skilled nursing facility, should you need those services for rehabilitation or possibly long-term care,
I see.
that community that you've established in independent living, those same friends that you have will be coming over to those levels of care to be able to look in on you and see you as well.
I see.
And I would, if I could add to that,
Sure.
I think one of the things that we also offer in that we have all levels of care on our campus, a determination or a need to go to a higher level care isn't always a permanent thing. Sometimes it's a temporary thing, and Steve touched on respite care that we do as well. So people that come into and become a part of our campus might not need to have that transition be a permanent thing, but it's all on our 33-acre campus. So if you come in as a couple or you come in as friends, you still are able to see everybody. You're all relatively close. And so it does continue to propagate this feeling of neighborhood. And I say a lot of times that if you ever saw the old Mayberry or Andy Griffith show.
I love it. I love it.
Our
I
community,
actually probably turn it on for a few
our
minutes
community's
every
a lot.
night.
It's a lot. We're a lot like Mayberry, and that everybody is very interested and friendly with each other, and they want to get to know each other, and they have shared life experiences, and that transfers across all levels of care.
Okay.
And it goes back to that promise that we make when someone enters, that we are promising that we're going to take care of you for the remainder of your life, regardless of your healthcare needs.
I see. Bruce, what is a life care contract?
That's a great question. And it is one that sometimes needs more than one opportunity to explain it. So we do a number of events where we give people a chance to come in and learn about what life care is. Long story short, it is a commitment that we make to our residents that you're going to get two significant benefits when you sign a life care contract. One is a discounted rate of the higher levels of care that we offer, the assisted living, the memory care, the skilled nursing. That's part one. It can be higher or it can be lower based upon which contract that you decide to sign. And then the second piece is a guarantee that after you have been financially approved to come into our community, that if something happens to your assets through no fault of your own, where you are unable to meet your financial obligation to us, we will take care of you for the rest of your life. And that's a big thing. So if you're in a rental community and you run out of money for whatever reason, there are a lot of things out there that happen to people that are unexpected. You have to find another solution. Whereas in our community, once you've made that commitment to us, we make the commitment back to you that we will take care of you for the rest of your life.
Wow, that's heartwarming to...
Through all levels of care, not just independent living, through assisted living, through skilled nursing, through memory care, whatever those needs are, we have committed to you that we will take care of you for the rest of your life.
So you're protecting the senior. That's what basically you're doing. You're protecting the senior.
100%.
That's fantastic. Bruce, what are the benefits of planning ahead and qualifying for a life care contract?
I think one of the things that we're trying to do when people come in, and I know it's difficult at times for people to discuss their financial situation, but we want to make sure that we match up the right size apartment with the economic situation of the individual that comes in. We have 27 different floor plans in our community that offer from approximately 579 square feet to almost 2,000 square feet. So we have a lot of different options for you. We want to find out and make sure that we're matching you up financially with the right situation. So when you come and visit with us, we're going to do a very high level review, background check into your financial situation. It's totally confidential. We don't share that information with anybody.
I see.
And then we have a discussion about what would be the right fit for you, and then we will show you some apartments. So there is a good reason for that financial review, and it is to make sure that we're assisting you the best way that we can.
Scott, I have a question for you. What are the financial benefits of a life care contract versus waiting too long and not qualifying?
Well, the average American spends at least 3 years in some sort of senior care, whether it be assisted living, memory care, or skilled nursing. And the average American spends approximately $67,000 a year on that care.
I see.
So for the people that are by nature planners and think ahead, they want to make the decisions for themselves, not leave it for their children or other family members to make it for them. They're the ones that embrace the whole life care concept because they realize that the money they're spending today will be returned upon their passing, and their health care costs while they're at Freedom Village will be significantly less than what they would pay in a freestanding facility.
Okay.
Can I add to that? I would also
Sure.
say one of the things that we hear a lot from our residents that make the decision to become a part of our community is that they feel like, A, they've done this for themselves, that they're super happy that they're in this community and they wish they had done it earlier, but they also are happy that they have taken the pressure and the stress off their children of having to plan for what's next for mom and dad.
Okay.
It is the greatest gift that a parent can give to the children, to take that extra level of stress of, if you don't make a plan, what are you going to do when you actually need to make some
I agree.
change to your lifestyle? What is your plan? And so we have that conversation with people too when they come in. What is your plan for those next steps? And for a lot of people, we are the solution.
I see.
That's interesting that you said gift, because those aren't Bruce's words. Those are the words I hear from residents as well as their adult children. That this is the best gift mom and dad gave me, or this is the best gift I gave my children. Constantly I hear that.
That's fantastic. Bruce, what kind of financial obligations are to be expected?
So we have a couple of different options that you can employ to come into our community. Our primary mode is through an entry fee contract, which, depending upon the size of the apartment that you're interested in,
Okay.
there is a one-time fee that corresponds to the size of that apartment. Then there is a monthly service fee, and I use that term instead of rent because typically rent only covers the space and the roof over your head.
Right.
The monthly service fee at our community covers a lot. It covers your meal plan, which we have multiple executive chefs on our campus that cook delicious food. We have housekeeping. We have that comes in once a week, and if you treat us like a hotel, that's how we operate best. You have fresh towels and fresh sheets. And
I've been to Freedom Village many times, and it is a first-class, absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous property.
well, thank you for saying that.
Thank you.
I was just saying the other things you get for that monthly service fee are transportation to within 10 miles of the community to things like doctor's appointments, financial appointments, several churches in the area.
So you would provide transportation to outside
We do.
appointments, doctor's appointments,
We
things
do.
like that?
Most of the people that come into our community are independent and are driving right now, and you can continue to do that. And so I've had a couple of people, and I love to tell this story where we have had people come in and say, I can drive. Why would I need that? And I'm like, so if you're living at your house and I told you I could have a chauffeured car show up and take you around to the grocery store, take you to the mall, take you to wherever, would you be opposed to that? No. So why are you thinking about this any differently in that it's not us taking away any liberty, it's just a service that we provide to you. And at some point, you're either going to not want to or you won't be able to drive, but you still want to get out. You
Right.
still want to go places, and we offer that
You're
opportunity.
never have to look for another parking spot for the rest of you.
That's right. That too.
Bruce, what are some of the amenities offered at Freedom Village of Bradenton?
So we have a first-class fitness center that we just redid. Our activities director, Katie Penda, does a fantastic job in having something available from 8 in the morning, typically till 5 o'clock at night every day. And then after hours too. There's live music, live entertainment. There are trips to Anna Maria Island for breakfast on the beach. We have travel groups that go a lot of different places. And in most cases, we will take you to these locations at additionally no extra cost. So there are a lot of things that we do on property. If you play cards, if you play any kind of hobby or group, somebody on our campus knows how to do it and wants to do it with you. If you have the random thing that you know how to do that no one else knows how to do, they want to learn how to do it with you. So it's an opportunity for you to teach them something that they don't know how to do. So either way you go, if you come in and you know how to do something and no one else knows how to do it, somebody there will want to do it with you.
Scott,
Yes.
what kinds of activities can residents get involved in, and what lifestyle should a new resident expect?
Well, as Bruce mentioned, we have a wonderful director of activities. In her previous professional life, she was a cruise ship director. So she has taken those talents and have brought them to Freedom Village. As Bruce also mentioned, that we have a very resident-centered culture. And what I mean by that is we look to the residents to direct us. We want to know what they expect of us, what they are interested, any types of hobbies, any type of outings, any type of recreational activities, whether to go bird watching. So we design our program based on the feedback that we receive from current residents as well as new residents, because everyone brings a different take to what they expect at Freedom Village.
I see.
And there's activities not just in independent living. There's activities that are in assisted living and skilled nursing, because even though you might not be as able to get around and do all of the things that we offer independent living, we have opportunities for people in higher level care. I mean, they still want to be stimulated. They still want to be interacting with other people, and that they want to have an opportunity to continue to have the highest quality of life as possible. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And I can tell you more recently, we've even engaged technology with our activity programming. We have a program called IN2L, which utilizes tablets. So, in a COVID world that we live in today, we've utilized that technology to still engage people, when they may not be able to go out for
So
an
you're
activity.
here to educate the senior more in the computer world, the IT world today.
And bring the activities to them in their rooms. We also have a dedicated television channel where we've provided programming that is live streamed to a community television channel in all the rooms across all levels of care.
Interesting. Bruce, why would a senior decide to move to Freedom Village of Bradenton?
The bigger question is, why wouldn't you? I think what we've all gone through the past year with COVID, people have decided that where initially I like the idea of being at my home, having my own property. People by nature don't want to be alone, and they want to be a part of something. They want to have a social life. And what we have found and statistics show is a higher level of activity, involvement, physical, mental stimulation will lead to a longer, happier life. Our residents, we have when I mentioned financial qualification earlier, we put into this model a prediction based on your age. We kind of have an idea of what the lifespan of the individual that comes in. But we err sometimes on the fact that people live longer because they are happier, they're less stressed in their life. And we provide to them stimulation that keeps them moving, keeps them going, gives them a reason every day to get up. And when all these people for the past year have been sitting in their homes, our residents have had an opportunity to have some level of interaction with each other, and we're coming out on the other side of this where we are actually returning back to what is normal and what we normally do. And some of the people that have moved in just recently haven't ever seen that. They love our campus, but they've only seen us operating under a certain amount of restrictions because of the mandates by the state.
Sure.
And that now we are opening up in a way, and they're like, wow, I had no idea it was, I already loved it, and I love it this much more. Did you want to add anything to that?
Thank you, because I conduct weekly hall chats with our residents, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that especially the single people get a bit weepy when they talk about living at Freedom Village during COVID. And the typical statement is, I just can't imagine being in my big house all by myself for over a year when I have been able to enjoy Freedom Village. Yes, we had to respond to the pandemic, but the quality of life that they received during COVID was 100 times better than they would be if they were living by themselves. So there's really an emotional moment when they talk about life at Freedom Village.
Scott, how do residents' children feel about them moving to Freedom Village or CCRC?
Well, as we said earlier, that most residents and their children will always use the same terminology. It's the best gift my parents have given me. It's the best gift I've given my children. They want to be an integral part of their parents' lives. They want to be an active participant in their parents' lives, but they're not worrying about their parents. That we have made that commitment to them that they are residents of Freedom Village. It's our responsibility to take care of them for the remainder of their life. And so these should be the best years they have with their children and grandchildren.
I see. Bruce, let me ask you a question. How does Freedom Village of Bradenton simplify someone's life?
Again, I'll touch a little bit on something I've said earlier was you don't have to do housekeeping anymore. You don't have to fix anything that ever breaks again. You don't have to, the cost of the utilities are included in your monthly service fee. You don't have to pay a power bill. If you like to have your apartment be 50 degrees or if you want it to be 100 degrees, it doesn't affect your monthly service fee either way. The opportunity to not have to drive yourself. We have travel clubs that get together and go. In past years, we've gone to Sedona, Arizona. We've taken, the most recent one we did before COVID was a trip to the Caribbean.
Oh.
And you're going with 50, 60 of your best friends. So you have this built-in group of people that you're sharing all these experiences with, and it's really fun. And
It's like
planning of what?
It's like
Spring break
for seniors.
Yes, right.
But another big one is cooking as well.
Well, the food at our place, that's absolutely right. You were going there. I'll let you take that.
No, just another big, once again, going back to those weekly hall chats, when I try to receive feedback from the residents, I always hear, thank God I don't have to make another meal for the rest of my life. And that they actually enjoy baking cookies now because it's no longer burdensome because they're not cooking 7 days a week. And so when they do cook or when they do bake, it's really an activity that they thoroughly enjoy.
And we have 5 different restaurants for independent living on our campus. We have restaurants in assisted living and skilled nursing as well. So one of the things that affords our residents is there's no waiting to come to dinner. So if people are thinking that there's a long line or I'm going to have to show up and wait for 10, 15, 20 minutes to get seated, our campus isn't like that. And the food is great across the entire property. Eric Babb, our executive chef and director of dining services, keeps a very, 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 the word I want to say is varied, and I keep saying very, but a menu that constantly changes to keep their appetite stimulated. And they also take requests. If there's a special dish you like, he has a group that gets together of residents that talks about the food. And
I assume that certain needs for certain people's health, if one's a diabetic or that means, or one is a vegetarian, you can accommodate to their specific needs.
there are so many options that they are presented with, that within our menu there is something that they will be able to eat. And if there is something outside of that menu, they have an option to talk with Eric about, can you try this? Can you put this on there? So things come and go all the time, but the food is, and this is no joke, our residents, the older residents that have lived there tell the newer residents, watch what you eat, because you're going to gain weight here if you're not careful, because the food is so good. So we hear that a lot.
Once again, the freshman 15.
That's right. Back to the spring break college metaphors.
Steve, let me ask you a question. What happens when there is a health decline?
Again, that's the beauty of the continuing care retirement community, having all levels of care on the campus. We're here to serve that. We in the health center see our independent living residents for elective surgeries. They'll come over after they've had a surgical procedure and come see us for a couple of weeks to be able to get rehabilitated and go back to their home. And then again, to be able to age in place when you need an assisted living service, if you can no longer be in independent living because your condition has changed to a point where you can't stay by yourself anymore. in that setting, we have the assisted living available to you then. And then again, if a condition warrants that you would need to come to the health center for long-term care because you would no longer qualify to be in assisted living, we're right there on the campus, so we can cover your needs.
Bruce, I have one last question. Probably one of the most important, downsizing. It's not the easiest. How does Freedom Village of Bradenton help with that problem?
So you spent your entire life accumulating stuff. And in most cases, you're going to be moving from a larger space to, in most cases, a smaller space. And in most cases, we do offer options that have garages. We have 1 and 2 bedroom villas that have attached garages. But in most cases, you have a car space or a carport space, so you don't have a garage, and there's usually a lot of stuff in a garage. But we work hand in hand with a moving company, a local moving company that specializes in senior moves. So they come out to your house and they walk through your life with you, essentially. And they determine, based on what you tell them, what do I have to have? What am I on the fence about? And what can I get rid of? And then they work through that process of helping you eliminate those things that you've been hanging on that you just don't need anymore. Because this is an opportunity to simplify your life and make your life easier. You don't need a lot of clutter. You don't want a lot of clutter. But you do want the things in your life that really matter to you. And our apartments are quite large. When you get the square footage, you don't really realize how big they are until you come and see them for yourselves. They almost every one of them has a glassed-in lanai that adds extra square footage that affords people much, much more space than you would think.
Okay.
I just have a quick story about that because I had one lady who told me once that she gave her dining room table and china to her daughter. And the daughter thought it was because she was the favorite daughter. But the mother said, no, it's just she lived closest. So when she would go visit her daughter, she was actually visiting her table and her china and not her daughter and the daughter's family. I thought that sums it up right there.
I've had that feeling in my life before. I want to thank Freedom Village of Bradenton for joining us today as our guest, and hopefully we can do this again very soon. And I'd like to thank Bruce Call, the Director of Sales and Marketing, Scott McAllister, the Executive Director, and Steve Lovato, the Healthcare Administrator from Freedom Village. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today.
Thank you, Howard.
Thank you, Howard.